Today we're going to start with sketching. Sketching is a quick freehand drawing, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up a couple of squares here so that we can do different sketching techniques in each one. So what we need to do is we need to establish a border around the edge of this. So one sketching technique is it's called finger gauging. And what we're going to do is we're going to set our paper along the edge of the table, and then we're going to hold our pencil and run our fingers along the edge of the table as we do this. And I'm going to hold the pencil about a ½ inch in, and I'm just going to ride my fingers along the edge. When I do this, it gives me a fairly straight line, about a ½ inch in. I'm going to do this for all four sides of the sheet to give us a border. Just like that. So now we have a ½ inch border around our sheet. The next thing we need to do is we need to divide this into half. Alright, so what I need to do is I need to estimate between this point and this point a center point. So I'm going to estimate about right there, and then I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to estimate that the center is maybe about there. And when I look at this, I can see that my estimation may have been off a little. This side was a little bigger than this side, so I'm going to move it over a little, and that looks a little closer. So what I'm going to do now, I line up the sheet of paper with my body, and I take my pencil and I'm going to use sketching lines to connect this point to this point, and just draw it in very lightly. And if you start realizing you're off track, go ahead and erase it. And keep in mind you're going to this point at the bottom. Very lightly draw this in. Okay, and so now that I have it worked out, what I need to do is I'm going to continue using sketching lines, but I'm going to darken in where this is. Alright, so then I'm going to, in this direction, I'm going to divide this into 3. So I need to do similar to what I did before. I need to estimate about 1/3 over, maybe about right there. Same thing down here, maybe about there, and I'm going to connect those lines. It looks like maybe this is not on track, so I'm going to move it over. Alright, and then I'm going to look and try to bisect this directly in half. Something like that. Maybe somewhere like that. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so if I notice a spot that's not exactly ideal, I can erase it and I can make adjustments. Alright, so I'm going to just darken this in to be a visible line. Okay, so I've got the basic layout of this assignment, In this first box, we're going to have this in landscape orientation. This will be the first box. What we're going to do is we're going to draw parallel lines, horizontal parallel lines, the width of my pencil. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my first line. Now my goal is to have that line about the width of my pencil away from the top line, and I'm going to draw this line horizontal to that line, and I'm going to continue and fill the entire box with lines which are parallel to each other line and a 1/4 inch apart. Do your best to make these lines straight. This technique's teaching you to make parallel lines and make straight lines, which is a skill when we're sketching that is going to come in handy. We're also estimating a distance, the width of the pencil. Okay, so now I have my box full of horizontal parallel lines, a 1/4 inch apart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue some of these lines into this box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 and skip 1. So I'm going to draw 2, and then I'm going to skip 1. I'm going to draw 2, and skip 1. Skip 1, draw 2. And what you should be left with is about 4 sets of parallel lines. These are what we are going to consider guidelines. Guidelines are parallel lines that help us to letter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of things. This is going to be our title block. I'm going to put my name. I'm going to put the name of the class. I'm going to put the date, the hour, information like that. So all of our letters are going to be in caps. All of our letters touch the top line and the bottom line. So I'm going to write So notice the R hit the top line and the bottom line. If you have a long name, make sure that you write your letters very narrow. That would be a very narrow E. And just make your letters just less wide than they normally would. Okay, this is my name. The next one would be our class. We're going to call this Engineering Tech. And I'm going to abbreviate engineering, and I'm going to abbreviate technology. The date you're going to put the day slash month slash year. All right. And hour. So I'm going to put first hour. Okay. So our title block is complete. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make diagonal lines. So these lines are going to be parallel. They're going to be a diagonal, and we are going to continue the 1/4 inch width. It's very easy to have diagonal lines go out of parallel, so make sure that you're keeping them all at the same angle.